just wanted one singular day where I didn't have to leave the house, didn't have to go anywhere. I literally called in sick for work today just so I could rest and try and take care of myself. But instead, I just went to take my testosterone, and of course, I am out of my goddamn prescription. So now I have to get out of my pajamas and put on real pants and go to the pharmacy. And I'm mad about it. I'm at least leaving my pajama shirt on because I'm gonna have a coat on anyways, so who cares? Also, hi Tony. I didn't want to do anything. Where are my headphones? I just wanted to lay in bed. I have been sat in that bed all day. So cozy, comfy, having a great time. Ow. And now here I am, trekking out into the fucking snow just to pick up my prescription. Oh, I'm angry. Also, look how cute this is. We made a little garland wrapped around a shower curtain, and it's so cute, and I love it. Very festive and fun. Also, our tree is up, and it's also beautiful. Anyways, I'm angry. Okay, see you later. Look at it outside. It's disgusting out there. I don't want to go outside, but I have to. Fucking stupid adulting. I hate it. Good morning. It's first thing in the morning, so pardon my groggy morning voice, but it's Thursday and I still haven't even introed, so my bad. But I had Monday off from work. I called in sick from work. I just really needed a day to rest, and I did absolutely nothing that day. It was great. I relaxed the whole day. I read a whole book. I filmed a couple of videos. I took a nap. I watched some TV. It's a lovely day all around. And Tuesday, I just worked all day, and then yesterday I also worked, but then I went to a friend's house afterwards. We got sushi. It was great. It's been a great week, having a good time. I do have some reading updates. I've already read 2 books, and I'm currently in the middle of 2 other books. So earlier this week, I read Deck the Halls by somebody whose name I forget. This one was hilarious and adorable. It's a queer contemporary Christmas romance. It's about a man who was involved with the Greek mafia, and now he's in witness protection program. So he's sent to this very small town in like coastal Maine. I think it was Maine. It's like a fishing town. He's trying to restart his life, but then he goes to a bakery one night, and the dude looks at him, sees this big scary guy, and assumes that he's there to like break his kneecaps, and he ends up slipping and hitting his head, and he dies. He makes a impulsive choice to take the body, steal a boat, and try and dump it into the ocean, not knowing that the owner of the boat is also on the boat. So now the 2 of them are in this mess together, and it was stupid and fun and hilarious. I absolutely loved it. It's also a trans romance. The love interest was a trans man, so that was great to see as well. And yeah, I had a really fun time with this book. It wasn't like anything special, but it was super fun. I had a good time with it. Definitely recommend if you're in the mood for a Christmas romance, and I gave it a 3.5 star. And then at the same time, I was listening to the audiobook for You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince, which was also hilarious and fun. This one follows a spoiled rich brat. He's like 21 years old, no responsibilities, dropped out of school because his parents just pay for everything, and he makes the poor choice to impulsively buy a whole ass island. He just dropped a casual few $1,000,000 to buy a piece of land in order to throw parties on, so his parents cut him off financially and sent him to go stay with his grandparents in a small town for the holidays until everything blows over in the press. And while he's there, his grandparents rope him into planning the town's like winter festival, and they ask for help from the guy who is is renting out their bedroom, who the main character is sharing a bunk bed with. The two of them do not get along. They are very much opposites, but of course it's a romance, so that changes very quickly. This one was also adorable. The main character drove me absolutely insane at first because I really don't like kind of spoiled rich people, but I figured the point of the book would be that he would learn and grow from that over time. Also gave it a 3.5 star. I liked this one slightly less than Deck the Halls, but I still recommend it for, again, a fun holiday romance. But yeah, those were the two that I've finished so far this week. And then I'm currently reading Our Winter Monster, which is a Christmas horror novel, and so far I'm liking it. I'm not loving it yet, but I'm not that far into it. I think I'm only maybe 25% in. It's fairly short though, so we'll see where it goes. It's just not really creepy or like atmospheric to me at all yet. I feel like the author is trying to be atmospheric and it's just not quite hitting the mark. So we'll see if this one is a win for me. But this one has to do with a couple who, I think they were on their way to a town in the middle of a snowstorm and they crash and the boyfriend gets like ripped out of his seat by some monster. And that's really all that I've gathered so far. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but I'm sure I'll find out as I go along. And then I've at long last started The Return of the King. This is the third and final book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Not very far in. Also, my copy is weird where like it gives me the page number for like the series as a whole. So it says that I'm currently on page 756. So I don't know exactly what page I'm on, but around page 25, give or take. So far, loving it as expected. It is very dense, so this is going to take me quite a while to get through. I'm aiming to read one chapter per day, so roughly 20 to 30 pages per day, give or take, and that's really all that I can get through because it's very, very dense. I love it. The writing is beautiful. I love these characters. The story is fantastic, but it's a slow read for me, so I'll be gradually plucking away at this one over the next couple of weeks. I've also just had a couple of audiobooks hit my Libby, so I want to try and get to those ones as soon as possible. One of them is, what is it? It's a Fabulous Life, I think. It's a queer retelling of It's a Wonderful Life, and then Our Vicious Descent of Haley Dennings just arrived as well. I might suspend that one until I finish some of the other ones that I have going right now, but either way, I'll get to it soon. Anyways, I've got to go make some breakfast and get ready for work and also shovel the driveway. We got a huge snowstorm last night and it's still snowing right now, so I got to go do all those things before I'm late for work. Okay, this lighting is terrible, but I don't feel like putting my phone onto the whole setup that I normally have. So we're gonna deal with the bad lighting. It's Saturday and I have several updates for you, starting with a little book haul real quick. I may have done some Black Friday shopping for myself. Shouldn't have, but I did. One of them is a gift at least, but most of them are for me. How do I open this? I don't know why they arrived in two different packages, but whatever. First one in the box, I got myself Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I read this one earlier this year and absolutely loved it. This is definitely one of my favorite books of all time. Also, Tony is very cutely chilling down here with me. But yeah, I picked this one up. These were all half off as well, so I got this book for like $14, which is a steal that I could not pass up on. Book number 2 is actually the gift that I got from my friend. That is The Surface Berry by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I read this one earlier this year as well, and the whole time that I was reading it, I was thinking about this one friend of mine, and I really think that they would love this book, so I figured I would get it for them while it's on sale as well for Christmas. I already have a couple of gifts for them, but I love giving gifts and I can't help myself, so I got this for them as well. Kind of number 3, but number 3, 4, and 5, basically, is the Interdependency series by John Scalzi, which includes The Last Emprox, The Consuming Fire, and The Collapsing Empire. The box set of this was $7.50 for all 3 books. I've only read one book by John Scalzi, but I probably shouldn't have bought 3 more books of his, but I couldn't help myself. I also have, I think I have 2 others from him on my shelf. I know I have one. I have the Kaiju Preservation Society, and I think I have one more, but I can't think what it is. But now I have 3 extra ones. So I have no idea when I'll get to these ones. These weren't even on my TBR, but they are now. Finally, also for myself, I also got The Cree Word for Love by Tracy Lindbergh and George Littlechild. I saw this at Indigo a few weeks ago and it just looks so beautiful. This is a nonfiction about the way that love is explored in Cree culture, and I just thought that was a really interesting thing to read about, and it was half off. So again, couldn't say no to that. It also has some beautiful illustrations inside of it, and yeah, I just really couldn't say no to this book. It is absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to add this one to my nonfiction collection. So there is the little haul for right now. I definitely did not need to be buying books, but I can't help myself. I love a good deal. I can't control myself sometimes, and here we are. Speaking of not being smart with money, I got myself a little treat today. So at work, if you don't know, I recently started working at a camera store and the employee discount is pretty good. So I've had my eye on a certain camera for a little bit, and I finally bit the bullet today because there was like an extra good employee discount promo going on. So I got the Fuji Evo Mini. This is a really cute Polaroid camera that does both instant Polaroids as well as like you can print off photos from your phone as well, which is really cool. I have a Polaroid camera that I don't really use because it's just kind of annoying where like the photos that I take don't always turn out very well, and the film is too expensive to end up not liking the photos that I take with it. But with this one, I can take the photo first and then look at it before deciding if I want to print it out or not. So I think I would actually use this one a lot more, and it's also way cuter as well. It has that like classic Fuji vintage look to it. So yeah, I've been thinking about it for months and I finally bit the bullet and did it. Well, it was a little bit extra on sale for me. Definitely did not need to be spending the money on it, but what am I to do about it? When a good deal comes my way, I'm not gonna say no. In other book related news, I have a few reading updates for you. So first of all, I finished reading Our Winter Monster yesterday, and I'm giving this one a 2.5 star, which like isn't a bad rating, but it's also definitely not a good rating either. This had a really interesting premise. It sounded really cool, but the execution was just not done very well. It had promise for sure. There were some things that were done decently well, but nothing was done exceptionally well at all. Characters were kind of bland. The atmosphere was like non-existent. It wasn't very creepy. The plot was predictable. So overall, it was not a great read, but I like what it was trying to do. But sadly, not the book for me. And reading the Goodreads reviews, I am far from the only person to think so. Most of the reviews that I read kind of said a similar thing to what I was feeling. So it is what it is. Not a win for me, but at least another book towards my reading goals. Always something at least. And then I've made some decent progress in The Return of the King as well. Again, my copy is weird where it only shows me like the page number as if this was all one volume instead of it being separated into 3. So it shows that I'm on page 812. So I'm roughly just about 80 pages into this one and I'm having a good time. I'm on chapter 5. I'm aiming for 1 chapter a day. I have yet to start today's chapter, so that's my plans for after I finish up here and clean up and everything. I don't have much to say about it, but I am having a very good time with this one. Tony, you're so cute. And then I've also started the audiobook for A Jingle Bell Mingle by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. This is part of the Merry Little Meet Cute series, which I absolutely love. I love that first book so much, and this one is just as good so far. I'm having a great time with it. It is raunchy and funny, and I love the characters. They're both really sarcastic. They have great banter, really good chemistry. They're friends first, which is really nice, but like also friends with benefits. These two characters had a one-night stand threesome a few years back, and they're just kind of reconnecting now. And yeah, I'm just having a blast with this one. It's had me like giggling out loud several times. It's so silly and such a fun time, and I can't wait to see where things go with that one. And then finally for right now, I've also started Baby It's Cod Outside by Cassidy, which is the sequel to Deck the Halls, which I read last week. Was that earlier this week? I forget. No, that was definitely this week. Okay, so the sequel to that book that I read earlier this week. I'm not very far into it. I think I am definitely less than 15%, but more than 10% into it. To be completely honest, it was a slow day at work and I was bored, so I pulled out my phone and just started reading this during slow moments, just reading like 2 or 3 pages at a time between customers because it was just a really slow day today. And in doing so, managed to read roughly 10% or a bit more than that. I'm enjoying this one a little bit less than book 1 so far, but I am very early on into it, so I'm sure it'll pick up shortly. But being so early in, I don't really have any thoughts on it. I don't even know what it's about yet, to be honest. The main character is a journalist, and that's all I've got. So, but yeah, those are the updates for right now. I've now been yapping for almost 15 minutes, so I am going to get myself cleaned up here. I made a mess, put the books away, get out of my work clothes, and get comfy for the night with The Return of the King. Maybe I'll watch some TV. I've started season 2 of Has Been Hotel finally. I was just rewatching the first season over the last week or so. Having a great time with that one so far. It is ridiculous. Season 1 so far is definitely better, but I am still really loving season 2 as well. Also, the other day I watched the new Frankenstein movie by Del Toro, and that was incredible. This is such a good year for monster movies. It was beautiful. I can't get over how gorgeous this movie was. The whole thing was fantastic, but for me, the things that stood out the most were the colors and the lighting. Both of those things were just so gorgeous, and like the costumes are amazing. The setting and the sets were just so beautiful. Everything was so wonderfully made in this movie. The acting was great. The script was fantastic. Everything was so good. If you have not watched this movie, please do so. It was very gory, so if you can't handle that, maybe don't. It was very classic Guillermo del Toro, with just excessive rivers of blood and that kind of thing happening all the time. So if you are a fan of his directing, give it a watch. It is definitely worth it. For sure, one that I'll watch again. This was such a beautiful movie. Oh my god, it was so wonderfully gothic as well. Oh my god, everything about it was so good. Nothing has ever made me want to actually read a classic before, but this movie made me want to pick up the original Frankenstein, and that is a feat. So, will it actually do that? Probably not, but maybe. You never know. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. Tony would like some attention and probably also some food, so I'll talk to you later. Just here to wrap up the weekly vlog real quick. I think in the last update, I was just starting a Jingle Bell Mingle by Simone and Julie Murphy, and I finished that one on Monday actually, but I'll just finish it up in this vlog. It's Tuesday, by the way. As per usual, I am late with outroing. What else is new? But this book was excellent. I had so much fun with it. It was heartwarming and lovely and emotional. It didn't make me cry, but it did get me a little bit misty-eyed at one point. I thought the characters were just so relatable and so real feeling. I loved the things that they were going through outside of the romance and how those things played a part in how they responded to each other and how they dealt with conflict and communication. I thought those were all explored very well. There was lots to do with grief in this book, the loss of a partner, the loss of parents. So there were definitely some heavier things in this book, but it didn't make the book feel dark or sad. It just really added some depth and emotion to the characters, and I thought it was so well done. So definitely a win for this one. I'm giving it a solid 4 stars. I'm kind of thinking maybe a 4.5 star, but either way, this was just such a fantastic read and definitely a favorite of mine in this genre. The series as a whole so far has been a favorite in this genre. Hi, Tony. And then with Baby It's Caught Outside, I haven't made much progress in this one. I'm only currently about 35% of the way through it, but I am enjoying it quite a bit. The one main character is a little irritating because he's very like anxious and a people pleaser, and because I am also an anxious people pleaser, I have a hard time reading characters that feel just a little bit too much like me because I see how it's annoying, and then I think, well, I'm also annoying then, and I don't like that. But that's not the book's fault. That is just a me thing. God, you're so cute. But yeah, so having a good time there, but I will finish that one up next week and share my final thoughts in next week's vlog. But as for now, that should cover it. So thanks a bunch for watching. As always, I appreciate ya. I hope you also had a great week, and I will catch you in the next video.